Here we go. Oh, we're hooked up. I think this is a pike. It's staying down though. This could be a Walter. This could be a walleye. All right, let's see if we can get this trolling motor working so we can spot lock. And I can figure out what's going on this boat. This is our first time out here. It's not gonna be a totally normal video because I gotta still figure out how the heck to use this boat and dial it all in, but we're gonna figure it out. See how fast it can go. So I think we do gotta drop it down the rest of the way. Let's figure out how we calibrate this compass. Turn the boat 1.5 times in either direction to calibrate. Keep the boat level and steady while turning. Awesome. So now we'll do spot lock maybe? All right, that was easy. Calibrated the compass on the trolling motor and calibrated the compass on the controller, which works out phenomenal. Rolling deuces for us, good, great. Awesome, all right, so we got a life jacket on, we got the trolling motor on and working. We're on anchor lock right now. I'm not sure how much I love how stable it is, but I think it's actually probably fine. Otherwise we'll have to find a backing plate or something. We can put our ropes away and, oh, we were gonna plug in the GT56 to see if it works. Otherwise, there's a GT56 on the trolling motor too that we can use, but I really kind of want to use the one that I spent 3 hours getting rigged up last night. There we go. I'll screw her on. I'll do a full walkthrough of the boat here in a little bit. We got to get other cameras set up and whatnot, but we want to at least get this thing rocking and rolling out here for a little bit first. So what I did is I've got my Garmin GPS Map 8600 right here. I've got this hooked up now to the Garmin Force trolling motor. This is the Kraken trolling motor. Got it all the way down. I've got it hooked up wirelessly to my display. On the map here, I just chose a location I wanted to go to. I hit go to, it said engage trolling motor. I clicked go and made sure the prop was going. And now what you'll see here is it says navigating on here. It is actually heading me there right now. And I think if I pick it up speed-wise, it'll get me there a little faster. Right now we're going about 1 mile an hour. Now we got it maxed out at a prop speed of 20, which right now is 3.2 miles an hour, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7. And we're going into the wind with the motor down. This thing looks like it's wobbling, but it's not moving. This is great. All right, we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna go to a closer spot here just so that it doesn't take us forever. So after you click it, get the trolling motor going, you do have to engage it, the prop. Otherwise it's not gonna just take off on you. So let's see what happens if we go full bore again. So it's trying to take me this way, but the wind's blowing me this way, so you can see it kind of doing its thing. It's pretty sweet. We're almost there. Distance is 161 feet, 155, 150, 145 till we're there. And then it just automatically switches to anchor lock mode. This is sick. This is what today is about. Probably not the most exciting video ever, but it's about making sure we know how everything works on the boat, which is critical. I do have quite a bit of bait I bought, so we will be casting a line here in a little bit. This is what we're gonna do. We are going to do side scan, and we're gonna head to another area of the lake here. Got up to about 18 miles an hour there. Didn't have it wide open at all. What I want to do is set up the Livescope transducer. So this is one of the Summit fishing mounts. I forget what they call it. The LX Max, I think is what it's called. But we are going to get it down in the water. All right, so now, let's see what we got out here on the Livescope. Look at that school of fish coming through underneath us. Ooh, some bottom roamers. All right, let's spot lock here. We're gonna spot lock here. We got some fish here on the screen doing some magic. I'm in down mode, which typically I would not want to be, but this could actually work, apparently. I could vertical jig and see what we can get here. This could be interesting, but I think what we're gonna do is actually go into forward view so I can see a little further out. So we gotta get the pole out here. It just kind of clamps in here. Boom, now we'll be in forward view. There's a school of something over there. And those things that we're seeing on the bottom, like that's a school of fish, I think, right there. 50 feet back that way down on the bottom, I think that's a school of fish. All right, here we go. We're breaking out the first rod of the trip. Yeah, buddy. Got an Apex Elite rod here, and we got a nice little jig head on it. Looks like a little fireball jig. We got a bobber on it, which we are not going to use. We're gonna take the bobber off. This is probably 6-pound test on this guy. Let's just throw a crappie minnow on. This is actually a fat head. We actually got a small fat head on here. We're just gonna get this out there and we're gonna see what we're working with here. 50 feet out this way. It's definitely not 50 feet. Oh, it's because the minnow's gone. All right, we're gonna have to face hook this thing. Otherwise, I'm sure I could have caught that fish. So it's the second minnow I've already lost. And we are going to try to go about 55 feet out. And I bombed that guy. That was a bad cast. So see, this is your first trip out on the water for the year. When you're rusty, this is what it could look like for you. Hopefully not for you guys, but I'm just trying to figure things out. Remember how to cast. There we go. A little bit better. Let's crank the gain a little bit more. Let's get back out there further. Still got a minnow, that's good. Dropping down right on top of that thing down there, which there were fish right next to it. Oh, there's some on the bottom here that I'm gonna be rolling over. We'll see how big and interested they are. 50 feet out. Oh, I lost my bait. All right, we're gonna try something different. This does not seem to be producing. Let's see what else we got in our rod locker, all rigged up already. We got a spoon. That spoon actually might not be bad. We're gonna try the spoon. See what we can do. I think we got a fish. And it's just swimming around with it. We do. We are hooked up. Just a little guy. First fish of the year though. Little perchy. Tiny little perch. First fish in the boat, choking down a nice sized minnow, letting her go. My goal is not to show any more fish that size all year. All right, I think I found a school of crappie. We're gonna try to get into them. Jig and a crappie minnow is the plan here. Here we go. Oh, we're hooked up. I think this is a pike. I think this is a pike. It's staying down though. This could be a Walter. This could be a walleye. There it is. Oh, I think it's a, I can't tell. I haven't had the open water feel for a while, so I don't know if this is a pike or a walleye, but it's a fish and the best one of the trip. My guess is walleye or pike. Why can't I get this open? It's a pike. Pretty good one. You guys want to see it? I'll get it back over here and then I'll try to open this net. That's a good sized pike. Let me try to get it in the boat here. Hey, at least we caught something of decent size. There we go. There we go. Woo! Nice size guy right here. Pike down. All right, let's see how long she measures. We got 29 and just over the line. So fish donkey tournament, this is a 29.25. But in Alex's book, this is a 29. One more quick look at her and we'll get her going. All right, let's let her go. See you later, girl. She'll swim off, give her a second. She's like, wait a second. There she goes. She's like, what are we doing here? Boom, there she goes. This is what I was using here. Just a small little jig with a crappie minnow on it, believe it or not, because I thought I was going crappie fishing here. Started seeing the fish, you could see on the Livescope, them start to school up underneath me. And that's typically when you know a bigger fish is coming. Let's go ahead and clean the net off. This net's awesome too. First time using it. Just got it brand new this year. No fish left over here, so we should probably get going to the next spot. Stop the cameras and get them going again. All right, so we've got 1.5 full live wells right now. I'm gonna turn the pumps up. Well, actually, I'll leave the pumps on right now. I'm trying to get more weight up in the bow of the boat because it's definitely back heavy. So I've got to figure that out from a balancing perspective. Might have to throw something up there with a little bit more weight. Do have a lot of weight back here. So this is what we're gonna do. It's a really windy day, so I'm gonna go on the other side of the lake because that's the way that the wind's coming from. And we're gonna try to get her ripping a little bit, see how she does at wide open throttle. Let's go get her. I got a lot of gear in here, so I'm thinking I'm probably gonna get around 30, 32 miles an hour. Let's see what we can get. Safety first, always use your lanyard. We're gonna pull this guy up. That obviously can't stay out there. And then we may as well just flip her on over to side view. Let's turn some music on.
Did you ever even try? I don't wanna do this one.
31. 36.2, 36.3, 36.4. We heard her click. Here she is. All loaded up, clipped in, ready to go.
Got like 15,000 followers.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What'd you catch out there?
Perch and pike.
You did?
Yeah. I'm
Not
just,
like we were watching.
yeah,
We
just
were.
breaking it in,
Oh,
making sure she works.
roll the Garmin.
Oh yeah, gotta go with Livescope. I ice fish like hard, and this winter is the reason why, because we didn't have much snow cover.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of light still getting down, so they just kept growing. Just gotta find them.
Fishing though,
Yep,
right?
yeah, good luck. Thanks. let's do a walk around the boat and how I've got it set up this early season. I am filming this after the day out on the water because there's a couple other things that I wanted to get done. Starting at the front of the boat here, I've got a chair up here now. I did add in a new post underneath it. This is one that actually goes up and down. It has a hydraulic handle right there, so that way I can raise it and lower it. And what I really like about it is because the floor up here is obviously a step up, is you can actually get on it, and then when you're sitting up here, you can actually see down into the water. I've got, of course, the Garmin Force Kraken trolling motor. I've got it set at just an angle there, so that way I've still got my light post on the front there, and I've got a ram mount holding it secure for travel and transit, so that way it's not bouncing around while we're going down the road. I've got a rod holder here, and then I've got one of my Garmin screens here. This is a GPS map 8610. I've got a sunblock screen protector on it. It's Livescope hooked up to it. And this is on the Summit shuttle. So this is an ice fishing shuttle, and it's on the Larmac 360 mount, which is this silver mount right here that allows it to swivel. I can then move it anywhere that I want on the track system. Next to that is this guy right here. So this is the Beat Down Outdoors. I love this thing. It is great. It's my Livescope pole. It's got an extendable handle on it, and then it goes all the way down. This thing, I've been able to have it in the water going 7-8 miles an hour with no problem at all. You can have it so that it trips after 5 miles an hour and automatically folds up if I want to go from spot to spot. But all I got to do is pull this handle out, and then it'll tilt back and sit up, and it'll be in a fixed mounted position back, so that way I can cruise down the lake. I don't need to take it out. I don't need to set it in the boat. I don't need to do anything like that. I've got this right here. This is a 14-inch tablet. This wirelessly displays anything that's on either this Garmin screen or that Garmin screen. There is a little bit of a delay, so I'm primarily using it for maps right now. I did replace the stereo in here. It had a cassette deck before in here, but I've got an actual radio in here. The speakers aren't anything to get excited about, but I do have that. You see some wires that are here right now. So I've got a network cable running from this screen to this screen, so that way they're networked together. I can share waypoints, they can communicate to each other, they can share Livescope transducers, they can share everything. And this transducer cable that we've got here is actually running into the dash, and then all the way back over here on the transom, I've got a GT56, which is a side scan transducer as well. This guy right here, this is a GT56 transducer. This is my side scan, down scan transducer that I told you I had transom mounted. And then I think this is my speedometer wheel that's on there as well. So that's all that I have got back here. The other nice thing about the Garmin Force Kraken trolling motor is it does have a GT56 transducer on the bottom of it as well. So I've got one at the front and one at the back of the boat. I did also add in a few different holders here for tools. This is a Rapala tool holder. I've got 3 of them. There's one right here. I've got one up here on the side, and then I've got one over here by the passenger chair as well. And so these are just all your normal tools that you would have. I've got my weight scale here. I bought the mount for that to go onto the wall as well. This is great. This is the brand new Bubba scale. And just to finish out this side, you can see, so I did add in a track mount there. I added in a track mount here, a rod holder there. And then in the back, I've got, this is my rear light. And it also has a spot for me to put a GoPro up there. So that's finishing out that side. As we go around the back, there's not really a whole lot back here other than I do have this thing that opens up, and this is where I've got some of the tackle that I have. Yes, I bring out a lot of ice fishing tackle. My fire extinguisher over here, and then I've got a little cubby down here. This cubby I barely ever go in, but it's a really important cubby to have. This is my tool bag here. This is a marine waterproof first aid kit from Adventure Medical Kits. This is not a cheap kit, but it's intended for if you need it on the water, you got it. You never know what you're gonna run into. Flags, light up flares. I've got a battery jumper booster thing in here in case my cranking battery were ever to die on me out there. I could jump it, or to help out a fellow fisherman out there that needs a little jump. On the passenger seat, I always leave one of these life jackets here. This is not an inflatable life jacket, and the reason being is this counts as a life jacket for a person on the boat because it's not an inflatable type. If you have inflatable types, like what I have back here and I have more of, they have to be on the person to count as a life jacket. So in case I were to take that off, which I normally wear the whole time I'm out on the water, I've got this to count as my life jacket in the boat and is easily accessible. All right, down on the floor here are my rods. I am using my rod locker for tackle storage. And so I just lay my rods down along this side here and I go down the highway with them. I don't have any issues with them at all. Now, this is the rod locker that I use for tackle. And so you can see inside of here, I have a ton of tackle in here. I probably have way too much tackle in my boat. I don't think that I have too much tackle. I just think that it's maybe not as organized as it could be, and I don't really have a good spot. All right, so there are 2 additional seat spots back here. I took those seats out, so that one's open. This one I've got a tripod bolted into here, and this is what I use as my primary A-cam on the boat. So I have a GoPro back here that gives a view of the boat. I've got my Sony a7S III that sits here for those close-up videos, talking head videos, those types of things. And then I usually have a GoPro mounted on my chest. And then under this, this seat back here, because I've got these 2 kind of jump seats, if you will, is I've got a life jacket in here. I've also got a bump board here. This is the Muskie bumper. This is the same one I used for ice fishing. This thing's great, highly recommend these guys. And then I got my throwable flotation thing in here too. One other thing that I added is I added these additional rollers here. This really helps. This is a roller trailer. Those really help guide it onto the boat. So that way, when I bring it up to get latched, I can get it centered almost every time exactly where I want it to go. So I've got the ramping clamp on here. A lot of people either have this or the Drado. Highly recommend getting something like this. I've got the longer arm on it. And then I've got the boat steps for the trailer that I have added on as well. You can see the transducer for the beat down there, and you can see the transducer. I've got it tilted a little bit just because of the wheels there, but that's how far down the summit pole goes as well on that mount as well. That's a quick walk around to the boat. I'll have everything linked down below that I've done to it and added on so far. And there's a lot more to come, so look for more of these videos. Let me know if there is something else that you want to see as well.